Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Bar Daniel for an interview today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Could we start this with you telling us a little bit about you?
Yeah, sure. My name is Bar, as I said, like a pub. Uh, I live in LA. I'm an actress, and I am also a dancer. I'm also a singer. I could also play really terribly on the piano and guitar. Um, and I moved to LA about 5 years ago. I got my degree in musical theater actually. And I was born and raised in Israel, which is why my name is Bar. But yeah, kind of I want to say that, basically about like in 2025, I I kind of decided to jump into verticals, and I've been doing that for the past almost year. No, a little over a year. And yeah, it just like happened by accident. A friend told me they're not a scam, just do it. And
Mhm.
then I'm so happy because like my entire life was so musical theater heavy, and I'm such a Broadway baby in that sense. Um and all of a sudden I was like, wait, do I actually love to be in front of a camera too?
Mhm.
Okay, that's kind of fun. So I think right now I'm at a point in my life that I am pursuing both really hardcore. So now I'm starting a musical theater contract, so I'm putting verticals on the back burner for the next month and a half, and then I know that I have the luxury of re-entering the space with a more refreshed point of view and being able to center on being grateful and on the work that I'm actually doing and how great it is that we get to be on set. And then, kind of like going back and forth between the musical theater side of me and the film and TV vertical side of me. Other than that, I have a cat named Twyla and a cat named Goose. And yeah, I love animals. I love hot yoga. Recently, I've been on a hot yoga kick, and
Mhm.
I have part of my ear missing.
Okay.
So wait, let me show you. It's not this side. You could see it, kind of, right? It's like this
Okay.
side.
Fun
Yeah,
fact. Yeah. Fair.
those are my fun facts, and that's a little bit about me.
Well, there you go. Love that. So jumping from theatre to on screen, what was the biggest difference for you? And is there something that you had to unlearn from both?
That's such a great question. I feel like with verticals specifically, you have to stay still a lot of the
Mhm.
times. And I think that for me, I'm such a like jittery person that I was like, stand still, stand still. So my first vertical, I was so hyper fixated on that. And I think the more I learned about the space, the more I was able to let myself go, but still remain semi still, kind of. I'm still a very jittery human being, but I think that was a big thing. Also, trusting that the emotion that I'm feeling is going to pass through to the camera, which in
Mm.
theater, everything is very big. Which again, I do villain roles. Obviously, those are big too. But especially with like the kinder, more grounded characters, it's trusting that my emotion is going to shine through and that it's
Yeah.
enough. And if I feel it and if it's in my eyes and I'm saying the lines the way I should be saying the lines, it should come through. And I think it really helped me be a better actress also when I step into the stage and vice versa. I feel like they really feed each other.
Yeah, of course, of course. So what inspired you to start acting originally?
I always loved singing. Literally always won a talent show in a random hotel when I was 3 years old with Over the Rainbow. Uh, and growing up, my mom used to show me Disney movies, and I think that was a really big part of it. And like, I remember just like snuggling with her in bed and watching Little Mermaid and Bambi and Dumbo and all those classic Disney movies and Cinderella. And wanting to be that too, wanting to
Mhm.
have that beautiful voice and make people feel. And growing up, my mom also used to take me, she was a teacher, she used to take me to all kinds of show because she was responsible for that in her school. Uh, and since the age of 2, I was sitting in the audience watching shows. Not going out once. I stayed there and I sat and I loved it. And then when I was 12 years old, I asked my parents to go to New York for the first time. So that was my first time ever in the States. And I could barely speak any English at the time. And I wanted to go see Annie, the musical, because it was closing on Broadway at the time. And even though I couldn't understand a word they were saying, I was like, I need to do that. Like, I'm behind. I'm behind. I'm not on stage right now. And this girl's 6 years old and I need to get started. Um, and that was basically when I was like, wow, if I feel those strong feelings without even understanding what they're saying, I want to be able to be that for someone too.
Mhm.
Um, and then I got my ass in acting classes.
Yeah,
And
I love that. I love
that's
seeing theater as well. So like even though I can understand what they're saying, just their emotions is sometimes enough, like you said, without actually knowing what they're saying. The portrayal of the characters is just perfection. So
and like my teacher told me once, my one of my professors in college said, um, we sing in musical theater because the stakes are too high to just speak. And I think that's
oh,
why, because the stakes are always so heightened, and that just makes you feel all the feels. And I'm a huge Broadway nerd. I love listening to Broadway. And I think it's because of the way those high stakes in the songs make you feel. I could cry every single time listening to like Flesh Failures from Hair. It doesn't matter how many times I listen to it, I always find another layer of emotion and of the
yeah.
stakes that they're singing about. Does
Yeah.
that make
I
sense?
cried during the Beauty and the Beast on stage. That was amazing.
It's just
Yeah.
like a change in me, like the way it's so cathartic, right?
Mhm. Yeah. I love it. I love it so
Melbourne
much.
or like to Perth. Did it come to Perth?
Yes, so they've got the Crown Theatre in Perth. So I've seen like Grease, Wicked, Sister Act, Hairspray, and one I just said Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. So
So you got like the season membership.
yeah, I got to see everything. Yeah, it was great. It's
They
beautiful.
got good theater in Australia.
I've been to a couple of concerts too. I resonate with theatre more than concerts, but
Mhm.
there was one concert for like an Elvis thing that came from America. So they were in Perth from America. So I got to see them as well, which was good.
Oh, nice. A little range there.
Yep.
That's cool.
Just a little bit of range. Yep. Okay. So you've worked across theatre, musicals, and now vertical dramas. What's the biggest acting adjustment between performing on a live audience versus on screen?
Um, I think really being able to feed off of your partner, it feels more realistic.
Mm,
When there's like an entire set around you, let's say we're in a hospital. It's not just a backdrop of a hospital and maybe a table to establish it like it would be in theater. You're actually on a real, sometimes even a functioning hospital or a set that looks exactly like it to a T. And it really makes you feel like you live within the story way more than theater. Um, and I think now, after I've learned to be still but also grounded at the same time, I could really um I could really immerse myself in that environment. When in theater, I kind of have to think of, okay, so if the audience is there, I have to open to the audience, but I also have to talk to my partner, and I also have to make sure that maybe I'm loud enough and not
mm,
speaking too softly when I have a mic right here when it comes to vertical dramas and film and TV, and my partner is this close to me. So I could really just be in the moment. When in theater, I feel like sometimes we have to heighten it more than what
yeah.
feels grounded. Even though theater could be grounded too, but it's a different kind of stakes
Yes.
again.
Yes. So how do you build a character from scratch?
Okay, so something I really love to do. Obviously, I read the scripts and then I answer all the questions of what do the stage directions say about your character? What does your character say about other people? What do other people say about your character? And kind of like I write down all of the relationships and what they are to my character.
Mm,
So, like my best friend, my boyfriend, my enemy, all of those, just like in one simple sentence. And I also love to create Pinterest boards for my characters of just
mhm,
different, kind of different other characters that are in those mediums. So like let's take Hazel, for example. I think a big one was I mean, some elements of like the OC, like Summer Roberts without the bitchiness, and Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters was like really big inspiration. And obviously, the original character from the version of Boys Over Flowers. And yeah, I just like to make a little Pinterest board of like a vibe of inspirations of what mannerisms I would seek out in this character. Sometimes they even make a playlist. I think that's also really helpful, especially on those long drives to set. It's always nice to have something to listen to get you in the mood. I've had some projects that directors actually made a playlist and sent it to us, which is also
Oh.
so cool because it's like, oh, you care. I see you. I'd also go over the lines and write down in my notes what kind of wording I would change.
Hmm.
Um, I would write down my arc of the character, what I think the overlying arc. Because sometimes in verticals, especially for the best friends and the villains, they don't really give you an arc. And to make
No.
it interesting for myself, I like to write down what I think it is, or even beyond that project, what I think is their overlying arc, even after we finish watching their story. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of in a nutshell how I like to prepare.
All right. When you're filming close-up emotional scenes, what technical acting tools do you rely on most?
Honestly, I just rely on knowing that what's on the page is gonna bring
Mm.
me there. A lot of the times, I mean, I'm such an easy crier. I want to say I'm a very emotional human being. Um, and obviously I don't hurt myself. I don't go, it's purely mechanic. I would never go there to a place that would was something that brings back any kind of emotional trauma. It's purely mechanical. Whenever I cry, I just tell my tear ducts to do it and it happens.
Hmm.
Um, which so grateful to have that skill, right? But I think with crying, obviously, sometimes verticals just want our eyes to be little faucets.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's really helpful to know and have that skill. Um, but yeah, to just say the lines, to take a deep breath before the scene, to remind myself what's my point A and what's my point B, and understanding the tactics of getting there. Meaning, like, what am I trying to do in the beginning? Am I pleading in the beginning? Then am I demanding something? Then am I resisting? Um, and again, all those things just after doing theater for so many years where you have to kind of like complete the narrative with imagination. Here you don't really have to. If the guards come to carry you away because someone called security on you, guess what? It's actually happening and someone's actually dragging you. Or, my first ever vertical was a very, very emotional one where Scarlett Shields, bless her soul, love that kid so, so much. But we had this terrible scene where basically we discovered that her character has passed away and
No.
seeing little Scarlett just lay there with her eyes closed. I mean, how can you not, right? So you just look at that
Mm.
girl and you just feel like you've transported into a universe where this is your reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I think that's basically what gets you there. And it's so easy because everything's so real. Like, how can you
Yeah.
not feel that?
Oh, if I
So,
saw her laying like that, I'd probably tear up too, even though I knew it wasn't real.
and that is like her and I is like I love her so much. We went to Disneyland the other day together.
Oh.
I I love her so, so dearly. And I think she's gonna be a huge star one day.
Yeah,
Huge.
I've had the privilege of speaking to her too, and she's so cute. And I had so much fun talking to her. And she built me like little magnet sets afterwards and sent me pictures. It was so cute.
My
It's
heart.
adorable.
That,
Yeah.
that girl. Unbelievable. So yeah, that's basically my point.
Yeah, she's amazing, amazing. Okay, so you have experience in singing, dancing, and acting. When you approach a scene, do you think rhythm and physicality influence your acting choices?
Oh, definitely, right? Because one character doesn't walk or hold themselves like the other.
Mm.
If I'm playing uh, a queen bee, it's very different than playing the best friend or some kind of like office assistant, right? They all hold themselves very differently. And I
Mm.
have to kind of like And I think that physicality also really helps, again, coming back to like preparation of how my character holds herself or how do they walk. Especially if you have heels, if you're wearing flats, like that also is very different. Um, and I think years of dancing in heels prepared me for all of the heels that I will be wearing in
Yeah.
the vertical space, which thank God for Laducas because shout out, that helped me out a lot. Um, and I think obviously, yeah, sure, there are beats. And a lot
Mm.
of the things are really fast with verticals. I am also really good at memorizing. I think because of memorizing so many song lyrics. And, with plays, you don't get a redo. You don't get to ask for
Mhm.
another take or ask for a hold or a line. And I think knowing that and coming from that world really prepped me so well for the piles and piles of dialogue that you have to learn every day before even getting to set.
Yeah.
Um, so I think in that sense, having that kind of theatrical experience and experience in singing and dancing obviously contributes, other than just making me a more well-rounded actor,
Mhm.
also very, very much in the vertical space.
Yeah. I mean, I think they both have pros and cons. So you don't get a lot of time before you start verticals, but you can
No.
ask for a retake. Whereas with theater, you get a lot of rehearsal time, but you don't get another take. So it's kind of flipped both ways.
And that leads me to another point that before that I was like, what do you mean we're just going for a take? Not even a blocking what? Not even a blocking rehearsal. What are we doing? And I think with time, I was like, okay, I go here. Okay, great, let's roll. And I'm ready. When
Yeah.
before, my theater self was so scared of not rehearsing anything. Um, and it's so funny. I think it made me better also, sharpen my instincts across the board. So when I am now in rehearsals for something and I step on stage, I'm not so terrified if I didn't rehearse it a thousand
Yeah.
times. So when we go into designer runs, right? When it's kind of like the middle of the process, I'm like, we rehearse this so many times compared to verticals. I got this.
Yeah.
Um, so I think I learned to trust my instincts more than, let's say, a year and a half ago.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think verticals bring out, I always say, and I say this in every interview, if you can do a vertical, you can do anything. I highly believe that because it just gives you so many skills that you may have not picked up from other slow-paced things.
Yes, very, very, very much so. I
Yeah.
always tell my actor friends, just do it. Just do
Yep.
it. What's the worst that could happen? You're not gonna like it? That's fine. You learned something. I'm sure you will.
Hmm. Yeah. Just give it a go. Even if you just do one, that's fine. You learn, you know what it's like. You can judge it, but don't judge it before you do it.
Bingo.
Yes. All right. What kind of character do you emotionally connect with the fastest?
I love the best friends. They're
Hmm.
my girls. Whenever I get to do one, it's such a party. Um, I really, really love the high school ones because
Yeah.
I think obviously not having had the American high school experience. It's always so fun. Obviously, it's so different than a real high school experience, right? Way more high the ones that we see in verticals, but it's fun to like wear the uniforms and go to a real school and be like, they have a football field here? They have a cafeteria here? I've been missing out on a lot. And
Hmm.
I think that's always really fun. To do those high school ones and like tap into the 16-year-old version of me and give her some love too. Um, and yeah, and I think I'm just connected to those like quirky characters, maybe the misunderstood ones too, because I've always been like this theater nerd. I've always been a niche person with niche-ish interests, especially back in Israel. So it's always cool to like, just give that part of me some love.
Yeah. Even the high schools in Australia are completely different to America. So I see them on screen. I'm like, oh my God, like we don't have cafeterias in our schools. We
Mhm.
used to have like canteens, just a little canteen, but
Yeah.
no big cafeterias and things like that.
Oh,
No.
we're lucky to have like a soccer field. Not even. We're lucky to have a basketball field. That's how like different that is.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden I'm
Yeah.
like, a school student? What?
I mean, my daughter's in some school, they've got like this big, massive oval which you could like put up football. things, but it's just a green oval. And then they've got like tennis courts and things like that. I'm like, I never had that when I was in school. We had a farm. We had a farm in school though. So that was cool.
That's cool. What kind of animals did you have there?
We had like cows and sheep. It was like an agricultural thing. So we got to learn all about agriculture and things like that with the actual farm. So
Hey, that's so cool.
it was cool.
I
Yeah.
wish. No, never in Israel.
No. I mean, I've never seen another school do that, but I was lucky enough to go to a school that did. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we should make a vertical about that.
Yes, that would be cool.
Write
High
it. I'll be the
school
one.
and farm. Yep, we could make that work.
Boom. Can't wait.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think audiences connect more with flawed characters or perfect ones?
Flawed,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because humans are not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially when those flaws are relatable,
Yes.
obviously. Um, Someone who's torturing another person with needles, shout out to my last vertical,
Mm.
maybe a little less relatable, but it is really fun with those kind of characters to find the flaw that, you know, does relate. Again, I digress, but definitely the ones that have flaws because
Yes.
we want to bring that third dimension as much as we can, especially in that art form.
Yes, I agree. I agree. All right. What's the hardest emotion for you to portray convincingly on screen?
I'm not a person that gets angry a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I when I'm angry, I just cry most of the time in my life. So it's
Oh.
so fun when I have to play these like super sassy, bossy, angry characters that are just like they have so much pent up anger because they've
Mm-hmm.
been wronged or like something happened to them back like before even the story begins of the vertical. And I think for me, it's always like the director would be like more aggressive, more angry, and I'd be like, I thought this was angry and aggressive enough. Like, I don't know. What do you want me to do? So I think I definitely had to learn like trial and error a lot, especially with those villain roles.
Yeah, yeah. They do ask you to heighten up those emotions a lot.
Yeah, especially with anger, like you have to be so angry at everyone,
Mm.
so frustrated with everyone. And I'm just not like that in my day-to-day
Yeah.
life. So it's always interesting to tap into a side of me that I didn't know was there.
Yes. And I guess it depends on like what you're portraying, whether that actually catches on camera. So you think that you're doing it like really angry or really sad or like you're really happy, but the camera might not be showing that as you're feeling it. So,
Yeah. And then again, it's like watching the monitor
mhm.
and really seeing it for yourself. I think that
Yeah.
makes a difference. And the learning curve too.
Mm.
So yeah, thankful for that for sure, for the growth that I've had.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Has there been a project you almost didn't take but ended up loving?
Yes. Yes, there is. It was a super last minute thing. It was with Kaylin Peluso
Mhm.
and Evan Adams, and it was for Drama Box. And I got cast last minute, and I was like, I don't want to be, I don't like, I was in high school so many times that month. I was like,
Mhm.
ugh, meet again in high school. Okay. And it was just the most fun I've ever had with a cast. It
Mhm.
was just such a party. I clicked with my trio so, so well. And it was just like 5 days in and out, so super easy. And I'm so glad I took it because I got to work with Kaylin again, and I love
Mhm.
Kaylin. And get to know other people that I haven't really met before, and like, and then I ended up doing some projects with them even after that wrapped. So yeah, that was like just a really fun project where we got to have so much fun backstage, and I think it really showed on screen.
Yeah. You never know what an opportunity is going to give you.
No, and it was just like my schedule just happened to be free for those 5 days. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? Let's just do it. And I'm so
Yeah,
glad I did.
I'm so glad you did too. Okay, can you tell us your experience on taming my bullies?
Sure. Is there something in particular that you want to know about the experience?
Nope, just tell us your entire experience and how much you like what you loved from that, maybe what you disliked from that. Is there something that you would like to have changed? Things like that.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'll start right from the beginning where I got two self-tape requests, one for Chelsea and one
Mhm.
for Hazel.
Okay.
And I personally think I did so much better with Chelsea than I did with Hazel. Because at that point I haven't really done much of like the best friend because I got very like pigeonholed. You have dark eyebrows, you do villains. And I was like, okay, whatever you say, I'll do it. And then Hazel came along and the director liked me more for Hazel. And I was like, she sure, whatever, I'll do it. I want to just work with Meg. It's gonna be so much fun.
Mhm.
Um, and then I got cast. And obviously Meg and I were super duper over the moon that we get to be friends on screen too. Because the project I did with her before Taming My Bullies, I was super duper mean to her.
Mhm.
It was fun that we get a little enemies to lovers arc in a way.
Yeah.
Um, and filming just it was so easy because what I love with mine and Meg's dynamic is that we get to just like riff off of each other so much. And I think we're both just like having a great time with each other. And it really showed on screen how
Mm.
much care and love I have for her. Um, Again, for me, it was just mostly for all the three seasons. I think I was just there for the fun times. You know,
Mhm.
Hazel shows up to like the tennis court. She shows up to the getaway. She shows up to have matcha with Emma. So I think it was always just I always had such a fun time because Hazel was brought on for the fun scenes with the boys at the pool. So I think in that sense it was always just like such a party and the vibes were always so wonderful.
Mhm.
Um and like getting to meet so many people and I just love Genevieve. I love Jen. I think she's such a wonderful director and she allowed me so much freedom with Hazel and I feel like right from the get-go we were on the same wavelength for the character. She was like, "You know what? Just quirk it up." Like what is she? I was like, "To me she's a musical theater nerd." Like she's definitely like the president of the drama club. And she was like, okay, like bring it to life. I want to see it. And I'm so happy that like I got to like speak sing some of my lines and that's something that we created together. Or, you know, her entire wardrobe was exactly what I envisioned. So it's just so cool to see how everyone was just on the same wavelength when it came to creating that character and bringing her to life.
Mhm.
Um, and again, like just seeing the love that people have, I never expected people to like recognize me from it. And then like I got stopped on the street one day and I was like, that's crazy.
Oh.
I never expected that to happen. Um, so I think she opened a lot of doors for me in that sense that allowed me to break out of, you know, villain jail as we know
Mhm.
it. Which I love villain jail though. Like not complaining about villain jail, but also allowed me to do other things too. So I'm just really grateful um for her bringing me to the next level in a way also with the opportunities that I'm willing to take or things I know that I'm capable of.
Mhm.
Um yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
hope
that
that
is probably one of my favorite ensemble casts. It was
Mhm.
everybody there is just amazing. Um,
Love that cast so much. They're so great. Love you,
yeah,
Tammy, my boy.
I love them. And I'm just so happy, like we discussed earlier, that you got to do those 3 seasons, that you got to end it properly and there was like a resolution. Um, I love that because a lot of them you don't get that. So I'm glad that you guys got the opportunity to finish out the story. Except I do want a wedding. I do want number 4. I want a wedding. Hmm.
I want a wedding too. I
Yep.
think we all want a wedding.
Yeah.
Um and obviously I would say yes in a heartbeat to coming back. I think all of us will because we
Mm.
all know how much fun we have together and how many people love this show and resonate with it. So yeah, I wouldn't mind to come back for season 4. Like I'm open. And I think I'm happy that Hazel got a boyfriend. I was like,
Mm.
hell yeah. My girl gets a cute little arc too. Good for
Yep.
her.
Love
It's
that.
usually with best friends. I wish we got to explore that a little bit more, but you know what?
Well, number
We'll see.
4. Number 4.
Number four is about Liam and Hazel. There we go. And the wedding,
Yeah.
of course.
And a wedding. Yes, yes. We can fit it all into the one thing. We can make it
Yeah,
all work.
it's a whole season. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Yep. Yep. I think we can make it work. All right. How do you personally protect the line between your character's emotions and your own?
As I said, everything is very mechanical with my approach to like displaying really strong emotions. And I think I just really immerse myself in what's happening around me.
Mm.
Like, even feeling, I'll use that example again of like someone like carrying you out or someone rejecting you and saying, "No, I'm not in love with you." Like I know that like as bar it hurts,
Yeah.
and I just kind of I don't know, I just kind of feel it as myself in a way, or like
Mm.
how my character, I really try to think, let me rephrase. I know that it already hurts on its own. Now I'm trying to think, how would my character react to it? Like,
Yeah.
would I be more angry at first and then I'll feel the emotions, or will I let it just like seep in? Would I be completely ignorant, but you know that something's happening beneath? Um, so yeah, it's mostly just like really immersing myself in my character and understanding how those circumstances would affect that character.
Mm.
Um, and then just acting on it.
Mm. Do you get guidance as to how they want you to portray that feeling?
It's very two-dimensional, which I think is like the lack of time. We're all just one take
Mm.
wonders at this point. And which I think is so freaking awesome because you really learn how to deliver on the one, right? But it
Mhm.
would be sometimes when we get a rehearsal, I would do it once, and then the director would be like, okay, perfect. That's exactly what I want. And because my instincts, not to toot my own horn, I think my instincts are pretty good. And sometimes they'd be like, actually, can we try a different angle when you go where this is your starting point and then you go there?
Mm.
Like, don't get to the emotion too fast or get there faster. It's
Yeah.
more so that it's like the fine tuning and less of exactly how to react to it.
Okay. Just like a little tiny guidance, which is good. It's not telling you how to do it. It's like guiding you there.
Exactly. And most of the times, like the director and I feel like are on the same page
Mm.
when it
That's
comes
good.
to just processes.
That's good. That's good. I like that. All right. How do you map emotional progression within a scene? Sorry.
I like to break it down by beats
Hmm.
and by who has the power. Because I think, especially with dialogues, that really helps to understand, okay, so in the beginning, my character has the power, and then where's the power shift? And then is there another power shift? Who ends up with the power in their hands? Like who wins and who loses at the end of the scene?
Yeah.
And I think that really helps too, just like the most simplistic um mapping. And then I add the actual beats of like here as I said, like here I convince, here I defend, um, here I reveal.
Mm.
And I think that also helps to really write down beat by beat what happens and what kind of dramatic action my character is doing on the other character or characters. And also
Mm.
writing, again, my starting point, my ending point. And at the end, like,
Mm.
am I the winner or the loser?
Yeah, I think that would be a very big thing. I think that's great, and I never actually thought about it that way. It's like knowing who wins at the end would change your dynamic for that entire scene, I think, which would be beneficial.
Definitely. And another thing I want to say that I forgot about how to prepare for a character is understanding the objective, the super
Mm.
objective, of course, what my character wants in this
Yeah.
entire story, in the entire script. And then in the scene too, what does my character want in its scene, and how does that help move towards the main objective?
Mm. Especially
Like
when
the
you're shooting out of order.
Yes, yes, especially with Taming My Bullies, we jumped so much. One
Mm.
day was season three, the other day was it was just a lot of like, wait, what are we doing now? What season is this?
Yeah.
Um, and I think that really came in handy of what does my character know at that point in the script? So when
Mm.
I get the call sheet for the day, I'm like, do I know this? Do I know that? We shot it yesterday. Does that happen? So just for me to have that continuity too.
Yeah. That would have been helpful. That would have been hard going from, you know, you do one season and you're just shooting out of order, but to go from like two different ones from like two to three, that would have been a lot for all of you.
Yeah, especially Cam and Meg. Huge shout out to
Mm,
Cam and Meg for doing this. And they did such stellar job. Like watching it, I was like, it was all woven together. It was perfect.
yeah.
Um, as perfect as it could be. But yeah, I think that that was also a challenge that I never experienced. Like again, as you say, let alone one, now add two at the same time.
Mm,
Um, and that
yeah.
was really cool to see, like, oh, I can do that too now. Like I can add this skill to my little toolbox, and now it's not so little anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks to
Exactly. Very, very impressive. I like that.
thank
Okay.
you.
How does costume and hair influence your physical performance on set?
See, I grew up such a tomboy.
Hmm.
I
Me too.
hated having anything on my face. I like even putting my hair up, I couldn't. I couldn't keep it on for like 1 hour straight even.
Mm,
Um, and I think that verticals were really like obviously theater too, but verticals for the most part because you like have to stay in that makeup for 12 hours sometimes.
mhm.
It was like for me it was also like a test in endurance of like do not pick your face. Do not pick
Yeah.
your face bar. Don't touch that zit that you know that you have on your right cheek. It doesn't matter right now. I think
Yeah.
that was a test in endurance for me. And again, when you have so much makeup on your face and like your hair is up, it's
Mm,
so easy to like slip into the queen bee. Or like when you're in a more grounded, vulnerable role, obviously like it's closer to you. So I think it makes it easier to also tap into that, those like more emotional beats and this
mm.
more grounded performance, as grounded as the space will allow. Um, and obviously, like, you know, with Hazel, like we got to play with so many fun like barrettes and hair accessories and fun earrings. And I think that was really like it really helped so that
Mm.
I see this character that way, but now the audience could also have that visual representation. So
Yeah.
it's like made for everyone. Like for example, when I rehearse for a play, I would bring the shoes that I think this character would wear that I have in my wardrobe, or I would put my hair up in a certain way for rehearsals. Or you know, like I did um I'm trying to think. Oh, I did like the 60s musical where
Mhm.
like we were all like in go-go boots and like, you know, those like A-line dresses. So I brought a pair of heels and an A-line dress so I could feel what it feels like to move in that.
Yeah.
Um, and that really helps you find the physicality and bring that character to life. And then when the audience sees it, it's like, oh, she's that, and she's comfortable in that too.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, with verticals, everything's so quick, obviously. And but I think that because we play those archetypes so often, it's just like I have them all in me now.
Yeah.
So when I wear the heels and I wear the tight dress, she's just there. Like she's now she has revived.
Hmm. Hmm. A little fun fact about me, I had to wear a dress once. I don't wear dresses often. I'm getting more into them now, but again, I was like a tomboy too. I like my hair and I like, things like that, but I'm always like a tomboy. So
Yeah.
I actually had to wear a dress somewhere. So I bought a dress like months before and just wore it occasionally to try and get myself used to wearing that dress. Um,
Yeah. Did you know?
And then it did with the dress. But then the earrings, I tried to get earrings just to make myself, feel a little bit more, girly. And then I realized bad. I'm allergic to most metal or anything earring. So I actually have, fun fact, a imprint of stars on my ear. I don't know if you can see it, but
Oh
they
my
got
God.
stuck. They got stuck because I was allergic to them, and now both of my ears have an imprint of a star on them.
Because you're a
Yeah,
star.
I'm a star. Yeah,
Whoa, that's insane.
yeah. So
You
no
live your
earrings for me. I got clip-ons before, like a clip-on ear, and so I could wear the earrings, but they're not the same. But
yeah, how would they know? No one's gonna know.
yeah, yeah, but a fun fact. Okay,
Yeah. Like it's very
um,
fun to do.
Yeah. Have you ever changed your performance style because of the energy another actor brought into a scene?
Oh, definitely.
Mm,
Um, I think well, I'm coming back to I think what was it? Oh, yes. Fake dating my rich nemesis on Drama Box.
that's good.
I think I um I kind of had the idea to make my character very stereotypical
Mm,
Queen Bee. And then just like meeting with my castmates and having that very, very good energy, especially in my trio. Like, shout out to Danny Duke and Emily Jones. Love my girls to death. But I think like getting to have the banter with them also created like a really interesting dynamic in like the Queen Bee trio.
mhm.
Um, and I think made us seem more like friends than them just being my minions, you know, and that really helped, like, I think ground me in that character. Her name is Daphne. And then also again, Meg and Ben
Mhm,
Armstrong.
mhm.
And getting to work with the two of them, I think especially Ben, such a skilled actor. It was such a great time working with him. And I think because he brought something so authentic, again, I was mean, but I had the space to explore how she's also very flawed and
Mm,
relatable. And I think in that sense, that's something I didn't see before meeting my castmates and to getting to interact with them and really live in that world of I am a rich queen bee, but
mhm.
also I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders as a 17-year-old. And I didn't fully realize that until getting to rehearse the scenes
Mhm.
with all of them. Or until doing like a super emotional scene with Meg where like she catches me on the phone with my dad and I was like, no, wait, this scene needs to be very emotional, very grounded from the villain.
Yeah.
So really like getting to play that kind of range. And I only saw one part of it before we
Mm,
actually started filming. So it's really cool that they got to like show me the other side and really make it, I think, the most well-rounded performance that I've done on a vertical set.
yeah. Yeah. And again, another fantastic cast. I've
Mm.
had the honor of again speaking to Meg a couple of times and I've spoken to Ben. Um, the interview with Ben is one that I will remember always because he has been one of my favorite actors for a really long time. So having the chance to speak to him was huge for me. So that was and he's a brilliant actor. I saw some of his short films on YouTube too, and one of his the short film he did on YouTube is amazing. So it's not something I would normally watch, but I'm glad I watched it because I just saw a whole new side of him and his acting that I'd seen on verticals. So,
Yeah, and with a lot of that cast too, I'm like in great touch with. Like they become really close friends to me.
mm,
And I think that dynamic really, if you go back and watch it, you could really see that.
yeah, yeah, they're all amazing. All of you are amazing in so many ways.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Is there anything you want people to know about you or your work?
Hmm. Um, I think just to know how much I love it and how
Mhm.
grateful I am to be getting those opportunities. I recently spoke to a casting director and they told me that for one role, they get over 1,000 submissions.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think I really want like the people watching, anyone that watched my shows. First of all, thank you so much for watching those shows and giving them the love and the support and loving those stories as much as I love telling them. But also to know how grateful I am to be getting that experience in the first place of being one of thousands, one of a
Mm,
thousand that got chosen to bring that character to life and how special that is. And I think I'm not only speaking behalf of myself, but behalf of all the actors. Sometimes like winning that part is like winning the lottery.
mhm,
And I just want the people at home to know that I really bring my heart and soul to every single character I play. And again, a part of being cast as a villain a lot of the times, I think the way for me to make it interesting for myself is what is what makes her human?
mm,
Why is she human? How can I bring a side that is more vulnerable so people not only love to hate her, but also maybe low-key root for her too to have a better life. And I think that's been like my personal mission because I've yet to get a lead in a vertical, which is obviously something that is on my bucket list for 2026. So knock on wood that happens too, and I'm manifesting. But in the meantime, while I'm getting to play those awesome villain roles, I want to see how I can practice and really bring that vulnerability and make it visible, even when the script doesn't call for it.
Yeah.
And bring an arc as much as possible. And I think, as we said, like those spaces are so fast paced. And I
Mm.
really believe that if I can make myself look good on a vertical, if I get cast on like an Amazon Prime TV show tomorrow, I know I'm gonna look good. That's not gonna be a problem. But to really try and just bring my bet like go into every process, I think, with like my right foot forward.
Yeah.
And start on the bright side of things. So I always try to bring positivity, because sometimes, like a lot of us could get jaded or monotonous. And I think it's so important. I continue reminding myself like how lucky I am, how grateful I should be that I get to do this for a living, that that's how I get to pay my bills.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, just the joy of acting. Acting's so fun. And it's sometimes when you have a good cast, it feels
Hmm.
like summer camp. Even
Yeah.
when you shoot in December and it's freezing cold, it feels like summer camp. So I want the people at home to know that I cannot wait to bring more stories to life. And knock on wood, I get to do this for a very long time.
Yeah. And we're manifesting that lead role for this year. Yes.
Amen to the vertical.
Yes. Yes. All right. What's the balance between control and instinct for you during a performance?
Um, I think, great question. That I have to trust that I've done all my prep work
Mhm.
by the point that I hear the director yell action. I know that I've done all the work. Now I have to just set it and forget it. Forget the work. Just know that it's within me, which is kind of like singing too, trusting that you have the high note, not having to look for it in the sky or reach for it, right? Because I've done the work, I have the technique, I have to trust that it's there and just set it and forget it. So I think in that sense, the control part is what comes before the action. And after the action, it's the instincts and all the work prior just already being within me.
Yeah, yeah. When I sing, I overthink the high notes and I'm like, oh my God, it's coming, it's coming. And then, but I don't have the technique. I've never studied it. So it's me, it's just karaoke. But I always panic before the high note, even though like in some songs, there's no way I'm reaching that high note. I can dream it, but there's no way I'm hitting it. And then some, I'm like, oh, I can hit that easy, that's fine. But you always overthink it. I always overthink it.
With the right warm-ups, Kathy, we'll get you there. I believe in
Hmm.
you. We
Oh,
got
thank
this.
you. All right. What is your funniest moment on set?
There's so many.
Yeah,
Oh my
no.
gosh. Every project just brings like so much tomfoolery.
Hmm.
Uh, I love shooting like silly TikToks with my castmates. On
Hmm.
my last project, I think we just like had a lot of times when they were setting up a rain scene, and it was me and Catherine Wilson and Armand, and we were all just like running around in like this random ass villa in Pasadena, just shooting stupid TikToks. Um, and just like, yeah, just like switching like camera work and directing each other in silly TikToks. And I think that's always such a fun vibe. Um, Moments on set, like obviously the like being drenched in like stupid cold water in
Hmm.
like January and just laughing it off and like, watching all of us with our blankets just like freezing before going in for a take another time. Pool scenes are always so funny, like something weird always happens. Um, I think everything is just so campy, right? So there's so many funny moments, but those are the ones that I could just recall off the top of my head.
See where I'm from, we'd be happily drenched in cold, freezing water in January. So,
Yeah,
mhm.
maybe I should just think about it as if I'm in Australia and it's fine.
Yeah. Think about a 40-degree day. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What does a good day on set look like for you?
A day where I've done my hot yoga right before I go into my car. My call time is like 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and lunch is like at 1, which is perfect. And then I go in and I just get to sit in the chair and like look pretty and like they
Mm-hmm.
transform and I look fabulous and the makeup is like chef's kisses and my hair looks like the best it's ever looked because I had just washed my hair and it looks
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And I get to just like start the day off with like a super fun scene. And let's say it's like a high school project or a college project. I love those. I could do them forever. So let's say it's like that kind of project. We wrap exactly on time. We don't hit overtime. Everyone's super happy. We play games in the break room. Everyone's down to chat, like in holding. Lunch is super yummy. The director and I really vibe and like they give really good directions too. And they give
Mm-hmm.
me a take when I ask for another one.
Yeah.
Um, and the costume fit just right. You know, like those are the elements of a perfect day on set. For
Mm-hmm.
show. And
Yeah.
all my snacks and crafty is awesome.
Yes. Crafty is a hit and miss. I do know this.
I know I would some chomps,
Mm-hmm.
like those like beef jerkies. Like I
Oh.
need beef jerky, fruits, crackers, peanut butter crackers,
Mm-hmm.
those things. Have I oh, those little panda things that are stuffed with chocolate. I could
Oh,
talk
we
about
have
crackers.
those. We have
They're
those.
so yummy.
Mm. See, when you said chomps, they're different here. So chomps here is a chocolate bar. So
Oh
it's like a
no.
long chocolate bar with like wafer in the middle with like caramel. They're a chomp.
No, for us it's like the beefy ones.
Yep.
Uh
We call that
and
beef jerky or something like we call it jerky. Yeah.
yeah, beef jerky, that's what it is. And yeah, or an omelet bar. I was once on set where they had an omelet bar in the morning.
Okay.
I was transported to heaven.
Yep.
Hit them up
Love that.
that morning. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's it for me.
I love that. Okay, I've got one more question. What is your proudest moment on set?
Ugh, there's so many. I think, hmm, a proud moment for me because I think as so many other people, I feel like at this point I'm just preaching to the choir, but we're so hard on ourselves.
Mm.
And I think sometimes I'm scared to also like be proud of myself for a scene. And then I see it on screen, I'm like, I don't know, like that was so bad. Or like the other way around where I film something and I'm not very proud of it in the moment. And then I see it on screen, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so good.
Hmm.
Like I'll take my first vertical as an example because I think that was like super pivotal for me in my arc within the space.
Yeah.
But it was just such a hard process for me, and I had to play this super vulnerable character that was actually good, was not a villain. And I had to like cry so much and like just like emotional scenes like that. And text that just kept repeating itself. So I felt like I was saying the same thing for 7 days straight.
Hmm.
Um, but when I watched the final product or like even at the end of a long shoot day, I was like, wait, I just did that. Like I would look at all the scenes like and I call my mom and be like, Mom, I just did that. Look at all those lines, Mom, I just did that.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's coming back from those 12-hour days where my character was in every single scene.
Hmm.
And before that, I was like, this is impossible. Like I read the script and I was like, did I say yes to this? I'm a theater person. This is not for me. And then going in and delivering it and then watching the final product, being like, I actually did that. And I'm so proud of myself for stepping out of my comfort zone. I feel like my entire life has just been me stepping out of my comfort zone, whether it's like flying across the ocean far away from everything I've known and starting a life here in the States, going to
Hmm.
college for musical theater, falling on my butt, becoming a dancer, starting verticals. And I think that was another moment of growth where I realized that I have so much more in me than what I thought I do. And I
Yeah.
think that first project really proved it.
Yes. I think stepping outside your comfort zone is something that we are all scared of, but then we can find so much joy in it once we do it.
Yeah, and that's what, since then I've been hooked. So even though it
Hmm.
wasn't an experience, it was a very humbling one. And I just came in for the second project with like a certain hunger that I didn't have prior, and also familiarity.
Yeah.
And I think ever since then, I've been trying to really stretch my boundaries and see what else I can do and find those roles that I think will challenge me and push me forward.
That's that lead role that's coming your way.
You know what, Kathy? You said it. Your words, not mine.
Yep. Well, I'm manifesting for you.
I am too. We'll both manifest. Maybe it'll do something.
Yes, I would love that. Okay, well, I want to thank you so much for having this interview with me today. I really appreciate it. You're amazing. So thank you.
So are you. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Oh, I'm glad you had a good time. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and I will talk to you again very soon.
I can't wait. Have a great rest of your morning, right?
Thank you. Yes, afternoon. We're just here afternoon.
Have a great day and afternoon.